That is not where Tux is supposed to be. That's Panther's porch. Kitty and Nighttime are really good friends. Nighttime takes really care of her older buddy, and I just noticed that they're both sleeping up here together, which is not something I've seen them do before exactly, so it's really cute. Don and I are headed out for a little walk and flower visitation at the NC State Arboretum and possibly the WRAL Azalea Gardens. We had considered going to Wings Over Wayne today, where the U.S. Air Force Thunderbirds are going to be doing a air show and demonstration. We've been to this event before, and it's a great event, but it's very crowded and a little bit of a drive, and we saw it 2 years ago, and we're just not feeling 100% today. Donna and I both figure we've are on cold number 2 now. So a little bit of walk out in the sunshine and the breeze on a pretty low 70 degrees day sounds like a good idea, but the other was a little too taxing for today. So I appreciate us getting out for a little bit though. Don's out there with the California duster getting a little bit of the pollen off of Ruby. It's a reasonable ride basically into downtown Raleigh over by NC State University to go to the Arboretum. We're coming up Lake Willow Road here. We just went past Yates Mill, and NC State has a lot of farming teaching out here.
Yeah, this is the dairy.
The dairy area, and I just thought the hay rolls over there in the field were kind of cool. So this field here is an NC State turf grass lab.
Think golf. North Carolina, big golf state.
That's just true.
You can get a degree in golf course
maintenance.
Right, management and maintenance, yes, from North Carolina State.
Looking to see if Ruby's gonna pop up the I can park for you, so Dawn can demonstrate.
No, she didn't like
She did not like that spot. Okay. Well, this one here on the other side of the street, if we do the U-turn here at this little intersection.
Yeah, I can do that.
I'm sure she's gonna think that's okay.
Yeah, she can pick up quick enough.
Although those people be in there, I'm giving them a second to get out of the way. I don't want Ruby to be confused about how to deal with the people while she's trying to park.
Let's see. Well, I think I'm gonna put her in reverse and I'm gonna try to park her, and I bet she pops up and says, "You want to park there?" Oh, she's gonna let me try to park.
Well, dang it, Ruby.
I have probably never have never parked that good in my life.
Parallel parked that good in your life. Well, I tell you, when you got
an audience, I might add.
I stopped recording because the car wasn't doing the parking, poor God. But you know, really, when the mirrors point down, if you've never had a car that does that, it totally allows you to see where your wheels are at the curb, and it's great. We're here along with a lot of people enjoying a beautiful spring day. Several weddings going on, we understand, in the garden, and prom pictures being taken. It's a busy place today. See, 2 weddings. I'm sure there's weddings at the WRAL Azalea Garden today too. I'm surprised at how breezy it still is in the gardens here today. This is one of the cooler and more relaxing spots in the garden with the waterfall sound in the background. Don's all prepared for me to take all the pictures I want to take because he's got his podcast in his ear. What are you listening to now?
Biography of Tesla, the inventor Tesla.
Okay. I walked up to this and I went, wow, what is that? And it is some sort of a hybrid variety of peony, and I don't know that I've ever seen yellow, so I'm pretty impressed. This is another very different and unique variety of peony. For obvious reasons over here, this is the shade garden. There are hundreds of Japanese maple varieties, and they're all different and they're all so pretty. You might remember the last time we were here, we ended up going down to Broadwell's a few days later and buying the Japanese maple that's out in our front yard. Look at how compact this Japanese maple is. It's a dwarf called KURO space HIME. I didn't think about today being the day of the peony to come to the gardens, but that is a lot of what's blooming today. This one's very pretty. I love the subtle pinks mixed in with the white. This one is similar to, but not the same as the one I have. Mine is more single and this is more double. This rose, it smells so good. Oh, it's just dreamy. It's divine. Even my stuffy nose can appreciate it. This is sort of the back side of the garden where they test and grow out new stuff. But they let us walk back here too. While we're out here in the calm, peaceful garden with the smell of rose and the birds singing us to sleep. Donnie, wake up. We wanted to let you know that Dawn is going to attend the North Carolina State Energy Conference on Tuesday and Wednesday of this week. Yep. And the description here is, in North Carolina, over 10 local governments have formally committed to transition to 100% renewable energy over the next 10 to 30 years. Wow, 30 years sounds a long time away. Yeah, really. But how will these communities achieve 100% renewable energy? What technologies will they rely on? How can utilities and renewable energy developers accelerate the transition? So it's a multi-track, big, I mean, this is a big event. Yeah. Dawn paid some real money for the privilege of attending.
Yeah, it costs a couple $100.
A couple $100, yeah. And but Don's going to talk to you a little bit about how he plans to get to and from the conference.
Yeah, so you know, we have an express bus that leaves from South Park, which is about a mile and a half from our house. And it takes express, just makes one stop, and then it goes to downtown Raleigh, and then to the main bus terminal, and then of course buses radiate out from there. And NC State, which is where this is going to be held, is obviously a very popular bus stop or bus routes, and so there's a couple buses I can take. Depends on if I want to get to the north or the south end of the campus type situation. Anyway, so I look forward to doing that. So Marianne's going to drop me off Tuesday morning, and then I'm going to take the bus from NC State to the central bus station in Raleigh, and then from the bus station in Raleigh to South Park. But the big news is, if that goes well, I'm going to be brave and on Tuesday morning.
On Wednesday.
Sorry.
The second day of the conference.
Second day of the conference. I'm going to ride my unicycle from home to South Park, and then take the bus in, and then of course use it to go back the other way. So I'll be doing that last mile thing they always talk about. This the most difficult problem to solve. So I look forward to new adventure, a little experience, finding out what current bus technology is. I'm a little embarrassed to tell you that the last time I was on a bus was probably 2006 or 7 in the UK. I took a bus from the area downtown near the hotel out to the suburb. Well, it wasn't suburbs, but out to where the customer was.
Not the city center.
Not the city center. So I took that bus to and from each day, and it worked well. And of course, I took the train from the city to the airport. So I basically operated for that 2-week trip just using public transportation, but I walked to and from the stations every time.
This is an area of the gardens they've been expanding, especially over on this side where everything's all permanently planted and labeled and such. It's I've noticed over the last 2 or 3 years that it really is growing. You can see movement. It's quite windy today. I'm having to work to make sure that you guys can hear me and not just a bunch of wind noise. Columbine, dianthus, maybe some phlox, daisies. There's a lot of stuff out here. I think I see Dawn over here. We carried our SPF 50 umbrella in with us, and he said he was going to sit in the rose garden. And I'm pretty sure that this is the umbrella. And apparently somebody just kissed in their wedding. Yep, there he is. See, I could spot you. Smells good over here too.
Yeah, it's been very nice.
This garden's only like 2 years old, maybe 3 at the most.
Yeah, This is the new section.
This is the new part, and it's coming along nicely. It really looks like a rose garden this year. I'm not sure what this section is called, but it's definitely a shadier part of the garden, and lots of traditional southern magnolia over here and helleborus down below. You can see the wedding through the trees over there, all the white seats. They kissed and everybody applauded just a few minutes ago. This Chinese fringe tree is blooming in all its glory today. Let me show you a picture of Don. So Don had one other thing he wanted to talk with you about today, or that I suggested he talk with you about. You can take that either way you want it. And so...
Oh, right. You know, this week I had Marianne took the van because she didn't want to park Ruby at the school. Parking at the school is very touchy, and she is going to be there all day. Anyway, the point is I brought the van out, and you know, we're just used to every morning going out and basically having a, you know, let's call it, you know, a full battery, a full tank, you know, 230 miles of range every day. Well, I pulled the van out, and you know, it was like an eighth of a tank, and it's like, well, quick math on that. Yeah, that's enough for her to get to school, because there's no such thing as time in the mornings to stop and get gas on the way into town. So I had warned her that on the way home she might have to stop and get some gas. You know, so she actually had a little bit of range anxiety.
With a nice car.
With a nice car. You know, the gas light came on, and she's saying, you know, I need to stop and get gas somewhere. Well, I had told her, I said, look, if you can make it home, go on and make it home, and I'll take it out and fill it up for you. But you know, that ability to charge at home is important to have that, so that you can experience the true convenience of owning an electric car.
Convenience now, yeah. Really convenient.
If you have to go somewhere out of your way or juggle charging someplace because you don't have an at-home charger, you know, it does reduce the appeal of an electric car. But if you've got a good place at home or work to charge, you know, there's no real reason now other than just maybe the price disadvantage, but I think that's changing. Gas is approaching $3 a gallon in North Carolina, and it's not saying that it won't go down again, but you know, every time the gas goes up, the advantage of driving an electric car increases, and add that to the convenience. I haven't been to a gas station in over a month. I don't know, maybe it's 2 months. I know one day I go back and forth many weeks picking up Johnny, and I have to stop
with the XB.
With the XB.
Yeah, so that tank lasts a long time one trip a week.
That's right. Now, granted, if I drove more, but in the case of Marianne, she'd have to probably stop at least one, or let's just say 3 times every 2 weeks if she was driving an ICE car, because she's doing 500 miles a week. And so that's, you know, borderline 2 tanks of gas. And, you know, that's 2 stops a week she'd have to plan that stop. She doesn't have to do that with an electric car. She just jumps in the car and goes.
You know, Don and I do a lot of talking to other Tesla people, and we do a lot of talking to people at events that have some interest in EVs.
Right.
But I've really been thinking about a Facebook post that would be mostly to my friends, and just encouraging them that before they buy a new vehicle, I'm not saying they got to go out today and get an electric car, give up the car that's perfectly good for them. Yeah. But if they're in the market for a new vehicle, please, please, please go drive an electric car before you make another ICE car purchase. And I don't care if you go to Tesla.com and you request a test drive and show up at a Tesla showroom, which there are more than you think, and it's an easy process, or they go to Nissan and try to drive a Leaf, or they go to Chevy and try to drive a Bolt. Is that possible? Yeah, hopefully that's possible. Or Jaguar. I know in Cary, the Jaguar dealer has an I-Pace that you can take a test drive in. So please make that happen, because until you give it a try, you haven't done due diligence, I think. I want to challenge my personal friends to drive an electric vehicle before they make another ICE car, new car, used car purchase. And there are used Teslas and Bolts and stuff out there. Maybe the I-Pace is a little new for a used car, but there are used electric cars out there too. Yeah. I was telling Michelle, you know, you can get use Model S in the $35,000 range that has autopilot 1 on it, and you'll get good range, good speed, and really realistic, like the traffic aware cruise control kind of in traffic driving assistance. You just won't have this nav on autopilot stuff, which is great. You know, you're not going to have full self-driving with an autopilot 1 car, but you can get a really nice Model S now that's got plenty of battery life left in it, and you get the warranty from the original purchase, right? So if it's a 2016 or 2015 car, you still got 3, 4, 5 years left on the battery warranty. So please take an extra half a day and go make those test drives happen before you make another decision, because like Dawn said, if you've got charging at home or at work, or maybe your commute is only 100 miles a week and you live near a DC fast charger or a Tesla supercharger, you've got an easy way to charge. All right, so, and that's really the only real inhibitor other than, you know, premium cost that we could come up with. So before you buy a new Toyota Camry or an what were you talking about, a 3 Series or something along those lines, consider your other choices, because you know, the Model 3, you can get a really nice Model 3 for $40K. And I suspect a lot of our friends are driving cars in that price range.
And the other thing is, if you're interested in a used car, you go to myev.com. It's a website that only has used EVs for sale. So I have no financial interest in them. It's just a website I've seen or heard talked about on other podcasts. And so try that, myev.com, and you might be able to find a used EV in your area that, you know, it might meet your needs.
And I've seen some Teslas out on Carvana's website. And I also know that local people who have traded in their Tesla to get a new one have sold their car to CarMax. So certainly CarMax has some used Teslas in their inventory too. So finding one would not be maybe as difficult as you might would have thought. So JB, just in case you're watching, Donnie and I, we really like this bench. And I appreciate the complexity of that curved back rail. But this bench, it sits really nice. This fooled me for a bit, but it is a variety of wisteria with variegated leaves. I don't remember seeing this plant here before. There's a regular wisteria over there to the right. We're in the vicinity of the second wedding now, and there are just a ton of people over here taking pictures. A ton. Don and I are walking the sunny border now, where there's lots of different varieties of plants. Lots of them flowering. Yep, prom picture time.
I just told you we did have some, but we took they were the fields. But this
just saying, I'm not the only parent in the world on a mission to get a picture of their kid. Like on prom, the kids are having to come out here for a 2 or 3 hour photo shoot. Just saying. I was telling Don, it's too bad we don't know some kids that wanted to arrive at the prom in the Model X. I would have driven some high school kids to the prom tonight. Made sure they got there safe and home safe. Definitely. You can see how good a parallel parking job Don did. I have to say, it was quite the experience being here when all of the kids going to prom tonight showed up in their finery. It was, with their parents in tow, and taking all those pictures, and we got to see everything we wanted to see. But between the extra people and the wind today, it was a tad challenging moving around the gardens. Doing all this talking, and there's a Tesla Model S right across the street from where we're parked. The number of cars here and people in the Arboretum, it's just overwhelming at this point. And there's a couple poor girls that have not been dropped off and are trying to walk in their 3-inch heels, and I'm really upset with whoever it is that forced them to have to walk instead of treating them right and dropping them off at the front gate. I mean, I'm all for exercise and walking with your guy, but not when you're dressed for the prom in 3-inch heels. No. Donnie's brought me here to Los Tres Magalles Mexican restaurant, and I am having a pina colada. Eat your hearts out. So Don has the grande special. Looks pretty good, Don.
Yeah, it's one of everything.
One of everything. I can't pronounce what I got, but it looks really good. I was determined to get something different today.
So I wasn't reading a book, I'm listening to a podcast. The podcast is Tesla, The Life and Times by Stephen Kotowicz. It's available on iTunes and Google Podcast. This guy's a real author. He's written books before. He's award-winning. He's well-educated. He's got a master's, and he's from Canada. I found it so far very entertaining. He's got a very good voice, good diction, easily understandable, and he keeps it lively. And he certainly shares the what his conclusions are versus references and other people who've done biographies of Tesla. I'm only in like the 4th episode, and he's over 20 right now, so I've got a little bit to go. He does tries to get them out twice a month. Looking forward. I'm just saying, look for a podcast. You know, it's about 30 minutes per episode, and it's good for the commute in and out of the office or something.
And I talked Don into taking the Osmo Pocket with him to the conference that he's going to next week. I know he won't take as much pictures and video as me, but he will take some, or he'll be in trouble.
That's right.